tariffs on Canada and Mexico,
with 25% tariffs.
putting the tariff of 25%.
So I'm sure like most of you, you've probably seen all over the news, all over social media, everywhere, that these tariffs are going to be kicking in because of our good buddy little Trump. So unless you've been under a rock, you've most likely seen the news of these impending tariffs between Canada, US, and Mexico, and the rest of the world. This is a type of topic that is normally outside of my personal wheelhouse. I'm not an expert. I'll watch memes on politics, but this is a little bit different because now it could be affecting my wallet based off of the things that I purchase. So, full disclosure, not an expert on tariffs, but I like to learn. So I did a lot of the reading. I summarized a quick script for you guys, so this video is going to be fairly short, but I'm just going to go through pretty much the topics of, what are tariffs, how do they affect us, how to protect yourself from the impact of tariffs. So that way you can take a little bit of the information and continue on your personal finance journey. So again, I've done a little bit of homework. I'll link the articles that I've read down below, and I'm going to be just sharing a basic understanding of tariffs. So first things first, what are tariffs? In simple terms, it's a tax that the government puts on goods that are coming into the country. Think of it like a cover charge for foreign products to enter our market. The way I understand it, governments typically put these tariffs on products to make them more expensive. So that way we, the consumer, would see how expensive a imported product might be and then just opt into purchasing something more local. It's like when your favorite coffee shop charges you more for non-dairy milk. They're probably just nudging you towards, the local stuff. But if you're in Canada, honestly, like me, you've probably seen that like some of the local stuff is actually a little bit more expensive in most cases, but that's a whole other point. Let's continue with the tariff information. How do tariffs affect us? So they could have a ripple effect on your life. When these tariffs are put on products, things become more expensive. So the things that you are very familiar purchasing, like electronics, clothing, or even some food, can become more expensive. So for example, if there's a tariff put on avocados from Mexico, then you may have to stop, your avocado toast addiction or whatever it is. And on top of that, domestic producers, so things that are made in Canada, typically raise their prices since the competition from cheaper foreign goods decreases. So basically tariffs can actually lead to an overall increase of all prices, which will affect our wallets. So what can you do to protect yourself? Not an expert, but these are some of the things that I'm going to do to protect myself from increasing prices. One is just to stay informed. I honestly consume most of my political information from memes on the internet. So that's probably not the best resource because most of it is probably wrong. So I take a little bit of time and I go to trusted websites. And again, I put a couple down in the description below, kind of explaining how these tariffs are going to work. But that's tip number one. Stay informed. Just learn on your own. Form your own opinion. Number two is to budget wisely. If you know certain items are going to become more expensive because of tariffs, adjust your budget accordingly. This might mean cutting back on non-essential purchases or just simply finding alternatives. Which brings me to number three, explore alternatives. Look for domestic products, so again, homegrown stuff, or try to find brands that maybe aren't affected as much. And it doesn't hurt to support a local business here and there as well. And number four, delay major purchases. If possible, hold off on making those big ticket item purchases that will most likely be affected by these tariffs. So like, again, electronics that aren't made in Canada, for example. Give it some time and wait until prices maybe stabilize a little bit or this stuff maybe just cools down. Outside of being able to vote, there's not much else we can do to affect or change government policy. Staying informed and being proactive with your finances can help navigate these changes. And from what I'm reading, the changes aren't in just yet, but again, they may change. And hey, if all else fails, you have the option to grow your own avocados. I hope this clears it up a little bit and gives you, again, a clearer picture of tariffs. It's something that I'm learning more about, and I hope you took a little bit away from it. If you have any questions or want to share some tips, put them down in the comments below. Subscribe, please. And I'll see you next week.